This movie gets 2 bananas out of 5 according to the NoMoreStinkyMonkeys.com website. After watching Mad Magazine's Up the Academy last summer, I've been a lot more forgiving of less than hysterical comedies. Up the Academy was painful to watch almost from beginning to end, and few movies I've ever seen can live up to that. So with that in mind, Bubble Boy is definitely a major step up. Bubble Boy entertains even though you're not rolling on the floor laughing. In better hands it might have been a laugh riot. Certainly on Seinfeld, the use of a Bubble Boy was comic genius, but here is more like pancakes with just a few drips of syrup. Still edible, but not as enjoyable. It starts out with the birth of the boy, Jimmy Livingston, to an overprotective mother. Turns out he's born without any immunities and is forced to live in a germ-free bubble to survive. His mother takes excellent care of him, but as he gets older, she becomes more and more freakish. This movie came out in 2001, before George W. Bush helped make the Christian right such a product of derision. The mother, Mrs. Livingston, is the kind of forceful Christian that bakes germ-free probiotic cookies for Jimmy in the shape of crosses, and changes the stories she reads him so that all the sinners come to a fiery end. As he gets older, he starts to like the new girl next door, Chloe, and his mother is particularly threatened by this tramp. When Chloe befriends Jimmy, she becomes even more of a threat, and Mrs. Livingston is determined to keep Jimmy pure in all ways. Chloe moves away to get married, and Jimmy, determined to find her and stop the wedding, invents a portable bubble that he can walk in. When he escapes his mother's clutches, the movie bounces along with him. He encounters bikers, dwarves, circus freaks, cult followers, and Asians. And they all get some jokes made at their expense, but with such a light touch that it's hardly worth mentioning. Mrs. Livingston is played by Swoozie Kurtz, and she gives this role her all, making George Costanza's mother seem sane by comparison. Jimmy is played without a lot of laughs, but with incredibly wide-eyed wonder by Mr. Brokeback Mountain himself, Jake Gyllenhaal. And for once, the producers hired an actress who is actually worth crossing the USA for. Chloe is played by the ever-lovely Marley Shelton, one of the most beautiful and underrated actresses in Hollywood. She currently stars in CBS's 11th Hour, so at least she's finally getting some steady work. I would not have been happy paying to see this film, but catching it on a Saturday afternoon on HBO while I was homesick was a pleasant diversion. Now remember, don't use antibacterial soap. You need your germs. From the Predator.